I would call upon the President of the Goa High Court.
Not only to thank Mr. Justice Karnik for having come here and work here, dispense justice and being of help to the bar here. I am thankful to you, sir, for having extended your stay at our request and stayed here despite of your family constraints. I know that your mother was not well, was being operated, but I am ever grateful to you for having acceded to my and Mr. Justice Sonak's request, whom I also thank for continuing here beyond your term. We hope that you will come here and be at least for a year and give us the privilege of dispensing justice. We know very well that Mr. Justice Sonak now will go to the collegium and very soon he will not be in Goa. Yet his Oman service rendered to us, to the bar and to the bench for all these years. So we expect that someone like him will continue and we hope you will be there for some time. Now I would request you, sir, to deliver your lecture. It is meant for juniors, but whoever senior feels that he should participate and be here can. Otherwise, with Justice Karnik's permission, you can very well leave the hall and not continue. He will not take it as an insult, but it is his request because he would be correct. But before that, I would announce there are many students of the 5th year of Law College here whom I request to come. Before you start your lecture, sir, we are inaugurating this series of lectures through you to the young bar, and we will continue it. I have requested Justice Deshpande to be the next in the line. Then I will request my colleagues, and we will continue with this topic, the shaping of a lawyer in court craftsmanship, till for another 7 or 10 lectures, so that we render due assistance to them when they come to the bar. Especially, I would request also the college students of 5th year to come and participate. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, sir. You're from the bar, sir. From which
The Advocate General, Mr. Hon'ble, respected senior advocates and friends, a warm good evening and welcome today. The Goa High Court Bar Association hosts a talk to be delivered by the Honorable Mr. Justice M.S. Karnik on the professional and ethical shaping of a young lawyer in court. Justice Karnik, before his elevation to the High Court on 17th of March 2016, had an illustrious and successful career as a lawyer, where he dealt with and appeared in cases pertaining to constitutional law, labor law, service matters, besides other civil and criminal cases. He carried this rich experience with him to the bench, where he has decided many cases of import with deftness and aptitude. His Lordship had a brief vacation sitting in Goa in December of 2019, if I am not mistaken. And from March of this year, he has had a regular sitting presiding over the single judge bench and the special division bench. During his tenure, he has gained popularity and warmed the hearts of many a lawyer and litigant due to his humble, down-to-earth demeanor and calm disposure in court and outside. And his tendency to give everyone a patient hearing has encouraged many a junior lawyer to gather the courage to appear and argue before his court. So much so that the lament of many junior advocates over the last few days is, why is Justice Karnik going? To that our response has been, he has promised to come back. Therefore we are positive that the talk he will be delivering today, albeit his first in Goa, will not be the last. The topic chosen is very relevant, particularly to the junior members of the bar, and I am sure that the speaker will do much more justice to it than what is required. That said, and without further ado, I call upon His Lordship Justice Karnik to kindly address the gathering.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, I had requested my senior judge, my colleague Justice Deshpande, and all the senior lawyers here not to be here when I speak. Well, as it is, I am a little nervous. Being in trial, sitting in the court is something very different, and standing before all of you is a different feeling altogether. So I requested them, please don't stay back. Some lawyers who are about 10 years, and they have defied my orders. I am here till tomorrow, and I will never come back. Mr. Praise, Mr. Bardesai, Mr. Karpe, I have seen all of you, Mr. Joshi, Mr. Kupino. I will keep this in mind. Well, Goa, I don't have to say Goa is so beautiful. It's raining now, the rains have stopped, but the weather is absolutely awesome. And after the court timings, legitimately all of you should be going back home to your workstations, having a cup of tea. And well, I'm really happy that all of you are present here despite your busy schedules, and a pleasant evening where you can spend outside. I thank you one and all for being here. Well, before I start, for the next 30-40 minutes, whatever, well, I always felt that hearing a lecture is the biggest ordeal one can face. And I never liked hearing any lecturer for almost 30-40 minutes. So I don't know, I don't expect anything from you towards me. If you say that, the lecture was very boring, perfectly fine. Before I begin, I must tell you that I was always impressed by this one particular book which I read, and which all the juniors must read and keep it with them. I did since the year 2010 when this book was first published. This is a book written by the legendary. Sorry, sir. Welcome, sir. I tried looking for you. I wanted to mention your name in my. Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling me here, sir. So this is a book written by Mr. Pali Nariman, Before Memory Fades. I'm sure many of you must have read it. And for me, this book is like the Bible. This book to me is like Quran. This is the Gita. And everybody of you must have this book. And there is one particular chapter in this book, which is called, the chapter is entitled, The School of Hard Knocks. And that is something which every junior like you and me must read. Because once we read, we really feel inspired, we really feel encouraged. Now in that book, Mr. Pali Nariman has written his fond memories about Goa, the Goan bar. And there is this particular chapter where he has written about the fact that Goa was liberated in 1961. And in 1961, there was this tribunal called as the Tribunal di Raleigh Ralisao, as the pronouncement goes, Ralisao. So this was abolished, and then came the judicial commissioners. His Lordship Justice Puto was the judicial commissioner then, who was later elevated to the bench when the jurisdiction of the Bombay High Court was extended to Goa. And Mr. Pali Nariman writes in his book that Dr. Justice Puto looked very resplendent in those black robes and wearing the embroidered bands, which they called it as kavatar. And then he goes on to say how fascinating experience it was to appear before the Goa, this High Court at Goa. When he says that the Portuguese laws is something very different from the laws we have in India. And that was the amazing experience he shared. A little of it I had the experience when I sat here. Now my advice to all my junior friends, and this is one advice given to in one of the lectures by our then Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Datto. His advice to all the junior lawyers was, we must inculcate this habit, and two things must always be there with us wherever we go as lawyers. One is, we must carry some ice with us, and secondly, we must carry honey with us. Meaning thereby, for a lawyer, what is most essential is that he must have ice on his head and honey on his tongue. If you have these two traits, most of your problems in the court will automatically be solved. This is something we must always remember. If in a minute I have to tell you what are the attributes of a successful lawyer, it doesn't take much time. It is just that a junior lawyer should work very hard, he should be disciplined, he should be loyal to his senior, he should be thorough in his brief, he should prepare his brief well, he should always be present in the court whenever the matter is called out, be of great assistance to the seniors, and so on and so forth. Well, everyone of us knows this. It's very easy to say all this, but what is very important is, this has to be an integral part of every junior lawyer. He has to carry it with him all throughout his career. Lawyering, I feel, is like that road journey, where after you reach the destination, the journey feels very good. But when you undertake this journey, you will have many roadblocks. And this is what I wish for you. I don't wish that you should have a very easy life. I don't wish that clients come to you very easily. I don't wish that this journey should be very easy for you. I wish that you are faced with many roadblocks. I do wish that you will face some tough times. I wish that you face very tough and hard journeys. Because once you learn how to face all of this, the journey becomes very endearing. And once you reach the end of the journey, that is the time when you look back and feel that what a wonderful journey and what a wonderful adventure this has been. So please don't be very discouraged by the fact that sometimes judges are nasty, or by the fact that the briefs are not coming to us, or by the fact that there is no opportunity. What do we do here? There is hardly any work coming. But this staring at the book stage is there for everybody. You can ask any lawyer worth his salt. Well, Mr. Pereira is here, Mr. Place is here, Mr. Pardesa is here, Mr. Karnik is here, Mr. Bobe is here. Any lawyer will tell you that Mr. Desai is here. Any lawyer will tell you that he has to go through this phase of staring at the books, where the only thing that he can do is work in the senior's office, be loyal to a senior, and learn everything from him. Now today, I just read something that the Chief Justice Designate of the Bombay High Court will be joining from Saturday. So there is an article in the Live Law which many of you may have read. So he said that lawyers, and that is what he did, that the lawyers should live like a hermit and work like a horse. This is the advice he gives to all the young lawyers, including all senior lawyers. And this is a very, very valuable advice which we must all inculcate, and it comes with rich dividends if we do this. Well, since childhood I was very enamored by these two epics, and everyone does, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. In Ramayana and Mahabharata, when we read about this, the fact that Lord Sri Ram, then the Pandavas went into exile. Just imagine for somebody who were princes, who were to be the kings, being banished from their kingdom for 14 long years, with nothing with them, just a piece of cloth on their person, and maybe just a weapon like a bow and arrow. They have to travel through the jungles. They have to live life like a hermit. Did this discourage them? Were they dejected? The point is this: look at it. Look at Ramayana, Mahabharata, or any epic from this angle. Were they dejected? A prince going into an exile, facing all the adversities, and despite the 14 years of exile, when they come out like as better persons. They are well equipped to face the world. And when they come out with flying colors. The Pandavas, ultimately defeat the Kauravas, and this is how the Mahabharata goes. I'm a strong believer of the system of Gurukul, and this is what I had spoken when I was there for a conference in Udaipur. Two of my friends are sitting there, Mr. Karpe and Mr. Pandesai. They were there at the conference. And I believe in this system, Gurukul, for this reason, that it is here that you learn how to face life. When you come out, you are better prepared for life. And a senior's office, let me tell you, all my junior friends, a senior's office is always like a Gurukul. It is no less than a Gurukul. Well, a senior may not look at you. A senior may not interact with you. But let me tell you, it is because of the senior that we have a recognition. Whenever a junior will argue a lawyer well or he does well in the court of law, the first question which a judge would ask is, whose chamber does he belong to? So that chamber never goes off from you. It will always stick to you. Even when it comes to your elevation, many of you will be elevated in the near future, you will be judges. The first question that is put by any chief justice is, which chamber did he belong to? And it is the tradition of that chamber, those are the rich practices of that chamber, that ultimately make you what you are. And therefore, friends, make the most of your seniors. Never look down upon your seniors. They are your real gurus. Treat them like gurus, and it will give you rigid evidence. That much I can see. Now, I would like to say something about opportunity. Because today, I find that many feel that we are not getting many cases, we are not getting any money, we are not earning, what do we do? Let me share a small story with you. How do you catch and how do you seize these opportunities? These opportunities, nobody is going to give them. You have to snatch these opportunities. And one story that really inspired me was this. There was this industrialist who was traveling in his car, and he had been for a party. Maybe he was a little, under some influence. He dashed against a tree and he became unconscious. One person traveling on a cycle, a very poor villager was traveling. Fortunately, he saw the industrialist in such a condition. He took him to a hospital. The industrialist survived. So when he regained his consciousness, the industrialist told everybody that here is a man whom I owe my life to. So he said, please come to my office in Bombay. I'll be very pleased. I can treat you. I can spend some time with you. So the poor villager on his bicycle parks his bicycle at a station, goes by train to the industrial, walks down to the industrialist's office, and the industrialist comes down to receive him, takes him to his office, and after treating him so well, with all the delicacies and all the tea and everything, the industrialist walks back him right up to the door of his conglomerate. While partying, the industrialist feels that there is something unhappy. I see something unhappy with the villager. So he asks him, friend, what is the problem? I see that you are a little unhappy. So he says, sir, not that I had helped you with some expectation. It's very wrong on my part to say this. I don't expect anything from you. But then, sir, I thought, looking at my condition, you see how my condition is, you know it. I thought, sir, you will help me. You will at least ask me that, can I do something for you? So the industrialist smiled. When he was a very successful man with such a broad vision, he simply smiled at him and said, my dear friend, you must know where to take opportunity, seize the opportunity. The whole of my conglomerate has seen you. They have seen you with my hand on your shoulder. They have seen you, everybody knows you, everybody has come to drop you here. You can just put in a word to anybody. Anybody will do anything for you. That is the opportunity. So this is something that had to be told to you. And this is something I experienced. with my, I'm a product of, not very comfortable experiences, which I'll share with you sometime later. And the lawyers today are very well prepared, they argue very well, but it was not so with me. And I had to learn the hard way. Now, there was this experience which I had. What is the importance of a senior's hand on your shoulder? This was this matter. With great difficulty, I started getting some matters. I had put in about 8 or 10 years of practice. And this was a matter of quashing of an FIR, which I was arguing before a division bench. Now, we all know that, these quashing FIRs are really difficult to get away with. The law is well settled, and the investigation is ongoing, and the judges will always try to shoo you away. So this is what I was arguing before a division bench, and I thought I had impressed the judges. Now there was this senior lawyer, very reputed lawyer, who I was beating him in another matter. This was with the famous Jalgaon sex scandal cases, where we were challenging the constitutional validity of section 406 of the CRPC. So in the midst of my arguments, the senior lawyer, kept on, interfering. And he would ask me, yes, have you seen this case law? Have you seen that case law? And the judges were looking at me. I was getting a little irritated. And then I had to very politely tell the senior advocate, sir, if you don't mind, can I come back in the evening and just finish my matter and come and assist you? So the senior advocate, and I said, sir, the judges are looking at me. And then look back, it's disrespect to the judges. So the senior simply smiled with his trademark smile and said, it is flamboyance, and at that stage they had that command. He said, my dear Mr. Karnik, the judges are not looking at you. The judges are looking at me. And they see my hand on your shoulder. You are getting the order. So I thought this is something, just he wants me to assist him in the matter. But true to his words, though that is an experience of a senior advocate, true to his words, the FIR was quashed by the judges. And I'll tell you the reasons were very clear. So this is how it is. You have this is the importance of a senior lawyer, the hands of the senior. And in the evening when I went to him to discuss the matter, he said, I did this on a purpose. Mr. Karnik, your arguments by itself is not sufficient. Preparing the matter by itself is not sufficient. You must develop a lot of tact, and you must learn to think on your feet. You must know when there are opportunities. And this was the opportunity standing behind you. I have to tell you because I have concern for you. Seize these opportunities. So it is from then some other thinking of mine started. Law is not all about arguing cases. It's much about tact and discipline and what you do in the court that matters. Now we all hear that there has to be a lot of tact in the court. You have to be very disrespectful. You have to be very respectful to the judges. And there are different approaches all the time. Now in a state like Goa, in a high court like Goa, you have only 2 benches. So it becomes easy knowing the judges. But you are in Bombay, the same matter when it goes to 10, 15 different judges, you have to argue the same matter in 15 different ways. Now, it is once said and often said, that you have to make the facts of your case very interesting when you present it before the court. And you have to get the court interested. It should, whatever your facts are, should read like a story. Now, let me share with you this real life incident. Now, we all know that seniors hardly fumble. But there are occasions when even the senior, therefore I didn't want the senior lawyers to wait here. Even the senior lawyers at times fumble. But they get back to their feet very quickly. And let me share with you this little anecdote. I was sitting on the bench with a senior judge of mine. The senior judge is known to be a little nasty. Now, there was this very respected senior counsel who was arguing one customs matter before us. And when he opened his arguments, he started with a flourish. And really, the facts of the case were such that it really seemed like a Bollywood pot boiler. Like the matter was from Goa. There was some case by the police. Some gold was seized, some drugs were seized. And then there were notices of the DRI and so on and so forth. But the point here is, when the lawyer concerned wanted to make it very interesting to the court, and it got me interested. So he started like this. My lords, the story of the prosecution and the story of this matter unfolds like a film script. Now, the lawyer concerned was very good articulate in his English, and his English was absolutely superb. Well, this is one complex the judges do suffer at times. They don't like the lawyer to be better than them. So my senior judge said, well, mister, you are in a court of law. And in an accent which was better, he tried to better the accent of the lawyer. He said, mister, you are in a court of law and not in some film theatre. So better argue on the law and the facts of the case. So the lawyer concerned, for a moment he was a little flumbled, he fumbled a little, but immediately regained his composure being a senior advocate. And then he went on to address us in the way the senior judge wanted him to address, and he walked away with the order. See, that is what the seniors are. Suddenly there is a change in your approach. The point that I am trying to make out for your, which you must bear in mind is this. Every judge will have a different approach. If A approach works for a particular judge, it is not necessary that approach will work for B judge. So the first thing when you read a matter, you have to study your matter very well, but you must also know your judge very well. This is something very, very important for the juniors to know. And this is where the seniors after putting in 40 years, they know where to hit the nail. That is the difference between a senior lawyer and a junior lawyer. We may many a times feel as junior lawyers that look here is I am the one who was burning the midnight oil. Well, I am the one who prepared the case so thoroughly. I looked at all the case laws. I did so much. And my senior just speaks 10 sentences, walks away with the order. Why is that? Is the judge favoring the senior advocate just because he is senior? Is he intimidated because he is a senior lawyer? Friends, it never happens. The reason is, it's just that 40, 50 years of experience that goes into those 10 sentences. And here is where I would like to tell you a small anecdote of the famous legendary artist we all know, Mr. Picasso. Like I was told that Mr. Picasso was once traveling for some function, he was invited somewhere. And there was a lady who was the wife of a big businessman, and she told Mr. Picasso that, Mr. Picasso, can you draw me a picture in 5 minutes? I'll pay you whatever you want. Any sum you tell me and you quote and I'll pay you. So Mr. Picasso said, all right, lady, I'll do it for you. So he painted a picture in 5 minutes, gave it to her, and quoted a sum which was absolutely exorbitant. Now the lady was absolutely stunned. She never expected this kind of a price being quoted for the picture. So the lady said, sir, by any standards this is too much. You just put in 5 minutes and you are charging me so much for this picture. How do you justify the time and the picture? So he said, lady, for these 5 minutes I have to put in 40 years of hard work which you don't see. So friends, I would like to advise you that whenever you go through the life lessons, you go through the history of any senior lawyer, you please see what are the life lessons. Don't see that the senior is successful, the senior is traveling in a Mercedes, the senior is having a swanky office, or the senior is earning money like anything. When I am working, it's that 40, 50 years of hard work that goes into the senior's success. And all this comes after a jury. You can ask any senior lawyer what all travails and turbulences that he has gone through. And that is the time you will come to know what are the problems that the seniors have faced. Now, friends, when there are occasions, when you know the approach, you come to a stage. Well, I thought I came to a stage where I know the judges and I know the approach, and I could read the judges. Well, the seniors teach us slowly and steadily about this. We change our narrative with the judge, and that is what we are paid for, I guess. Otherwise, the clients can simply stand before a judge and address the judge. No, this is what we are for, and these are the qualities which we have to develop if you are to be successful. Please read the judge and address the judge in the way he wants. That's the first lesson that you have to learn. Now, there was this interesting case which I faced, and there are some cases you always remember. You just don't know what to do when the facts of the matter are such. There was this I hope I can continue, sir. There was this matter relating to date of birth. Now, my client comes to me and tells me that, sir, well, I am retiring next year, and a lot of injustice has been done to me. I have gone through the records, and now I realize he got some Xerox copy of some birth extract of a ground-up child, and he said, sir, I must get 5 more years in the government service. So a thought came to me that when he was in the first year, he was 6 years old, got a government job, and now he wants straight 5 years. So I said, sir, don't pitch your case so high. We can request the court for a year or two. That's the advice I give. The matter should not go from me, some reasonable advice I have to give. But I said that law is well settled. So we are in trouble. If you do this, we may invite strictures, and you still have a pension, you are making out a false case altogether, then there may be an inquiry into how you... No, sir, I have absolutely a good case. Please address the judges on this. We go ahead with the case. So I stood before the division bench of Justice Rivello and Justice R.M. Sawant. Justice Rivello was sitting in heading the bench in courtroom number 37. And well, this is one approach I didn't know. What should be done now? So I just stood up and waiting for the judge, some expression from the judges. Fortunately, the judges started conversing amongst themselves for a good 5 to 10 minutes. And after the junior judge who had read the matter to inform Mr. Justice Rivello about the facts, Justice Rivello just burst out laughing. He said, the opening sentences were before I could say anything, that, well, Mr. Karnik, this is a biological miracle. Your client was just 8 months old when he was admitted to the first standard. So, therefore, better take, he couldn't help laughing. He was just enjoying himself. So, I immediately turned, as we should, whenever the judge wants us to take, settle the matter, or wants us to take some instructions, never argue with the judge. Just keep this in mind. So I turned around, looked back, as if I feigned ignorance. Oh, this is something new coming from the judge. So I just told the client that, sir, the judges have literally caught us, and you will be heading for trouble, as I told you. So better we should withdraw instead of getting some observations. So my client, being the client some clients are, he said, I said, how could you be? When this is right what the judges are saying. He said, sir, my parents said that I was born a genius. And I was just 8 months when I went to first standard. My parents told me. Wonderful. But judges could make out that my client, is, I'm a little embarrassed by the submissions that I will be making now. So the judges made their life very easy for me. And they passed an order to my credit or discredit. This is a reported judgment. Where this judgment comes without me opening a single, except for saying just some expressions of the hand and expressions of the, sometimes the communication is through the, so they passed the order. Then I told my client, even now you think before signing the order. He said, sir, the judges don't understand anything. It is the Supreme Court who will understand what I stand for. So we try our luck in Supreme Court. So this is how clients are, And you have to you have to present the case, you have to ultimately fight for them in whatever best way you could. This is something I told you because these are some things you have to bear in mind. And this is nothing but, awareness. As Gita teaches us, the teachings of Gita are very simple. That every one of us should be aware of what is happening. If you are aware of how the journey is going to be, if you are aware of what difficulties you will be facing, if you are aware that this journey is going to be very interesting but tough, you will find this journey, it won't be that the journey will be smooth, but it will give you the strength to endure this journey. And this is what awareness, and these are what the teachings of a senior counsel always is. So he won't talk to you in person, but you have to find out about it. You have to find a lot about your senior lawyers. You have to be useful to your senior lawyers. It's not that the senior lawyer will always give you brief to work with. Whenever you are before a court, if the court tells you that please go ahead with the matter, don't hesitate. there are very few judges who will, after hearing the juniors, will dismiss the matter without hearing the seniors. It's more for encouragement. So don't lose these opportunities. And you can take these opportunities only if you are ready with the brief. So irrespective of whether your senior tells you to read the matter or not, please be prepared with all the briefs. No senior will ever tell you, please don't read this brief or that brief. We'll just give you some brief to go to the court and attend. So don't lose these opportunities. For it may happen that in a particular brief the senior doesn't want you to, is absolutely occupied, and you are ready with the matter. It helps the senior gains that confidence in you. You are the ones who have to take the steps forward. Please always bear in mind this, and you will come out with extremely good results. And this has worked true for so many. And sometimes it's a very good feeling. You argue a matter in a court of law as a junior. You go out of the court, and there are some clients who are sitting outside. Please remember, at any point of time, there are so many eyes watching you. Your demeanor is watched, your behavior is watched. Everything about you is being watched very closely by so many. So therefore, don't give chance. And whatever chances you have, please take it. Please don't lose those opportunities. And there are seniors who will never tell you not to argue if you are ready with the matters. The judges will appreciate it. You will flourish. So this is what I always wanted to tell you. The one thing that, I must say something about my assignment when I came to Goa. Well, let me tell you, I was very reluctant to come to Goa. Goa, I thought, is good, only for 3 nights and 4 days. This is the impression I had. The first time I came to Goa was on a bike with my parents. I always thought that they were very misers, and they never parted with any, money for their son. I always took them to be that till I grew up, and now I have my own children saying the same thing. Now, I've been coming to Goa very often, and the thought, I must share something with you. Some of the chief justices are very friendly. So one of the chief justices had, before Justice Naidu came, he had asked me, would you like to go to Goa? So I said, sir, yes sir, why not? So for how many days? So I said, for 3 nights and 4 days. Sir, you expect me to go to Goa and work? So he said, no, I want you to go for a long stay. I said, sir, that is not possible. My children are small. I'll go for a short sitting if you want. But there are some problems, and you must go for a longer time. So this is what I had done. And the basic mind block I always had is that about the Goan bar, which I heard so much from everybody. I have heard about all of you from Justice Karnik. I heard about you from Justice Gawai. I heard about you from all my colleagues that have come here and adorned the bench here. That all of them have said the level of preparation of the Goan bar is absolutely extraordinary. They are virtually next to the Supreme Court. You have matters under all the jurisdictions. So friends, this is what you are a part of the Bombay High Court. The Bombay High Court is known for its rich traditions. The Bombay High Court is known for its best practices. And it is the traditions, it is the culture of the bar and that court which makes that, which adds to the glory of that court. It is not for nothing that Bombay or Goa is known as the finest high courts. There are some traditions left by the seniors advocates, and it is for you to follow that. And I'm sure you will be doing it. I've seen all the juniors conducting themselves in the court, and that is what I was really impressed with. The way the juniors are conducting themselves, the respect they have for the court, and the demeanor is absolutely outstanding. So Goa has nothing to worry about. The President, Mr. Brace, is sometimes worried, but I can assure you there's nothing to be worried. Your juniors will do better than you. Now let me tell you about my stint in Goa. I came to Goa, I guess my assignment started on the 6th of March, I think. 6th or 5th of March. When I came to Goa, it was just on a Wednesday, the 3rd day. Mr. Place and some of the committee members came to me, and I was happy to see the committee members. And they said, well, we have a function, an International Women's Day function for the women of this profession who are big time achievers, and we are felicitating them. Now, unfortunately, on that Saturday, I had to attend, I had some commitments at home. I could not be there for the function, and I missed it. I was told that it was a grand function. On Monday, one of Mr. Fraser's junior came to me and gave me something to remember. He gave me a book about a book called as Trailblazers, as a token of the function that was there. And the book Trailblazers, which I implore all of you to read, is about all the women achievers from Goa. And the book is so impressive when I read it. Well, we have women who are from the field of art, who are very successful. We have women from the field of music, Lata Mangeshkar for one. Then we have women from the field of music, or for that matter, jazz, and so on and so forth from the field of law. And once you read that book, you will come to know what Goa is all about and how rich the traditions of Goa are. The point that I am making out is this. A bar, here is a bar. The High Court Bar Association and the Panji Lawyers Forum of Mr. Budino is the president. You have signed it on the book. I have kept it, I will treasure it forever. So the bar honored the women achievers. And whenever, in whichever bar there is respect for the women, that bar will always keep its flag flying high. Then the second thing I noticed, it was during the tea party of Justice Thakur. Something that was, out of the blue for me. Well, we were just having a good time at the tea party. I was very new, and I was interacting with the members of the bar. Topic came up that we are having a cricket match. The President, Mr. Senior Advocate Mr. Pereira told me that we are having a cricket match between the Advocate General level and the senior advocates. So I just happened to suggest, sir, why don't we have a match, as we have in Bombay, between the senior advocates here and the lawyers here and the judges. So we didn't have the numbers, so we had to import a few from the Supreme Court, then from Bombay, and then from the imports were very good. One was a Supreme Court judge, one was a Chief Justice, and then we had some judges of our district judges, judiciary as well. And the point is not that we had a wonderful time at the cricket match. It was so well organized and lavishly organized. The point is, I saw the culture there. Till the guests left, none of you left. And the match went past way beyond 11:30 p.m. if I am not mistaken. The dinner started at 11:30 p.m. And even at the time of dinner, when everybody was so hungry, I could see all of you standing so patiently in a queue waiting for your turn. That was something amazing. No pushing, no prodding, nothing. Well, there were some who broke the line. And one of them is standing before you. I took the advantage of me being a judge. I was really hungry. So forgive me for that. I now know the Goan culture. I'll never do it again. But this is, the point is the ethics, the etiquettes and discipline that you all have in you. I don't have to tell you about all this. Please develop on this. Whatever you have, the Goan culture is rich. Then we had a function of where Justice Gawai spoke on the 50 years of Keshavanand Bharti, the landmark judgment. And there also all of you sat so patiently, and it was a brilliant speech delivered. Everybody of you listened to the speech so patiently. That was something very Indian. And it feels good when you have an audience who is so receptive. And the function thereafter that followed was more interesting. Well, we didn't have simply a dinner, but we had some nice songs being sung. We had Shukratara sung by Madam Desai who was here. Then we had Dilbar Mere sung by Mr. Rao. And all of them sang so well. Then we had Sapno, Mere Sapno Ki Rani Kab Aayegi. My thought was, and I left a little early. The reason was that I didn't want to go to the stage, which otherwise I would have done had I not been a judge. So this is something I really wish, and I was happy for all of you, that this is the fraternity that one would expect. And this is all that I have seen about Goa. Not to speak about the court, but I was impressed by the fact that not only in the court, but even off the court, the judges are respected. I am a rank outsider to all of you, but the way you have made me comfortable, I can only say thank you. Friends, I think I've taken a lot of time. It's evening, we must go back home to our workstations. Tomorrow is a working day and I'm going to work for full 5 hours. So, Goa is beautiful, but what makes the city really beautiful, it is the people who make the city beautiful. And I love you all. It was wonderful being here. I'll come again and again. That's a promise to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Lordship. That was spoken truly from the heart. And I'm sure all of us, seniors and juniors, we certainly have taken a lot from that talk and that speech. Thank you very much. Thank you for speaking here today and being with us for the last 4 months. We really appreciate it and hope to see you back soon. And colleagues, thank you all for being here this evening and sparing your time. We look forward to you being here with us for our next event. Thank you and have a good evening.